Welcome to the name game. Workout 152 is Pit Crew. 4-time with a 13-minute cap. 9 clusters at 135-95, 13 pull-ups. 9 clusters 165-105, 13 chest to bar. 9 clusters 185-125, 13 bar muscle up. 9 clusters 205-145, 13 bar muscle up. 9 clusters 185-125, 13 chest to bar. 9 clusters 165-105, 13 pull up. 9 clusters 135-95. An important note, a cluster is a squat clean thruster, and athletes are going to use a single barbell in this workout, and they must change their own weight.
Color me impressed, Aldo.
And we're off. This is Aldo, which is one of Day's athletes. So Day, give us a little bit of background on him, what his strengths and weaknesses are, how this workout should be for him.
Yeah, so Aldo he's young, which is nice. He's in his early 20s, so that's always a positive thing. He's
A lot of runway left.
Yes, exactly. So was a former rugby player in college, so
Ooh.
has that background. So he has a lot of good strength. He's very strong, especially lower body dominant. The clusters aren't really an issue with him in terms of lower body strength, getting into that position. But one thing like we've been focusing a lot is barbell cycling and gymnastics work. And his gymnastics aren't bad. It's just volume. Definitely takes a toll on him. He has cranky shoulder, so we've been doing a lot of like accessory work for that. But his gymnastics has gotten a lot better over the during the past few months working with him. So they've gotten a lot better. They're more fluid. He could now go for longer chunks of sets. So it's been helping a lot with a lot of the Metcons he's been doing. So I think this was a really good workout for him because it was working on barbell cycling and gymnastics. So it's perfect to kind of test those two.
The classic couplet.
Yes.
Day.
Barbell gymnastics.
How long has this guy been doing CrossFit?
Like, I want to say 3 years or so.
Okay.
2 or 3 years, yeah. Like
He
most
played
of his
rugby in
athletic
America?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because he did.
I didn't know
He's
that's a
in
thing.
officer trainings because he's in the Army right now.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
This position's. You know what, Aldo? If you're watching, kudos to you, brother, because your positions on these clusters look really good. His mobility and his squat looks really good. Receiving position is really strong.
Yeah.
T-shirt plus 10 strength.
Color me impressed. Color me impressed.
Yeah, he's like when we did his initial movement assessments, there was really minimal things to pick at. Like his ankle mobility, his overhead mobility, like everything. So it was kind of cool to get him to start working with him because like we could just kind of go right into like some good training.
Yeah. I'm always excited when you get an athlete, they don't have like 10 things that they're like, oh, we got to avoid this and this and this. And I had 6 shoulder replacements and like, you're 22 years old, he has 6 shoulder replacements? I'm like, all right.
So you can't deadlift, squat, press, or pull. So
Yeah.
But you want to get a lot of Metcons in because I like those. So you have fun with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about this workout a little bit. It's 9 clusters every time. I kind of wrote it. I wrote this, and it was the intention behind it was sort of that people are doing singles the whole way through, but it's just like how consistent you can be with your turnover, like drop, let the bar settle, then kind of pick it right back up again if you want to be successful. So there's very few athletes who are ever going to make it back down this like pyramid chipper, if you will. So most people are going to get caught on the way up, which is sort of the intention behind it. But if someone's got like a elite level capacity, then maybe they're going to start making their way down the other side. So that was sort of like my thought process behind it. And people could really get bottlenecked on either the gymnastics or the barbell, but especially when that barbell starts getting heavier, it's just going to be like either you got the strength in the positions or you don't.
Yeah, and I know when like Aldo finished this workout, like one thing he told me was like, "Yeah, I didn't finish it," and I'm like, "That was the expectation. Like I didn't expect you to finish the whole workout, so that's good." Yeah.
But that's one of the things, especially with like younger athletes, is like what I try to get them to think about is like, okay, how far into this is realistic for you? And if you start to think about that ahead of time, like how long is this going to take me, and how taxing the movements are going to be, and that's just all like based on experience. So it is harder as a younger athlete or as someone who's not had like a big training age in CrossFit specifically. So like, but if you can start to think about like, okay, I'm probably going to get caught somewhere on the way up, maybe at like the 205 bar to maybe like 185 on the way back down. If he had thought like that, potentially he didn't, but maybe he did. But then if you do think like that, it allows you to start to like, oh, I expect it to start to get challenging at this point. And you just start to like anticipate the workout a little bit more. And I think that's like important for you to actually get a good performance.
Mm-hmm. And then from a programming perspective, I think depending on the athlete, I think we're probably all on the same page. I think it's important to have workouts that you can smash. It's important to have workouts that's like this one where it's like, oh, I didn't finish. And it's like, no, we knew you weren't going to finish, right? The percentage of that can really vary though, depending on the athlete. Like if you have someone who really struggles with confidence, like you can't go too far to the not finishing side. But if you have someone who's like a really top line athlete, you kind of need to know where their capacity lies and to like throw a workout at them like this, where it's like almost nobody's finishing this. But if they like get halfway back down the backside, you're like, oh snap. Like, okay, we know where our capacity lies in a workout like this.
Yeah, in a workout like this, the capacity is a lot different because it's like all the movements are so high power output that it's like you have to find ways to rest. It's not like it's a 30-minute workout where you're doing CrossFit and you're just gonna have to rest. It's like this isn't that long of a workout, but you're forced to rest just because the movements are challenging. So it's like figuring out how can I be methodical on the bar, and then how do I break up the gymnastics? Thinking of it in the totality of the workout. I want to work across the entire time domain, not just like, I feel great right now, so let's go.
Right. He looks like he's really starting to slow down here.
And I know with this workout too, like the pit crew style, I think it's good. Like it forces people to slow down because you have to change your own weights, but it's also like the chalk bucket, right? If you have like a chalk bucket in a Metcon, you're gonna like grab chalk even if you don't need it, and then it just eats up time. So you have to be careful with that too. But in this case, because everything is like you were saying, high power output, it's definitely helpful.
That's actually really funny because I'm pretty sure like his last weight change takes like 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
That's why I love weight changing workouts, because it's like, oh, I have no choice but to rest. I gotta change the weights. It's not me. It's the workout that made me do it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but you can see like the breaks in the gymnastics are getting much longer. Mm-hmm. And also, he had initially been doing butterfly, and then the chest bar pretty quickly went to kipping, like a gymnastics kip. Which there's nothing wrong with that, and I think it's actually good for most intermediate to like quarterfinals to semifinal level bubble athlete to have like that in your back pocket if you need to revert back to gymnastics kip. I don't think there's anything wrong with that for most people, provided it keeps you moving. I think it would help if his bar wasn't like 6 feet off the or like 8 feet off the ground. It's really up there.
You have to do a pretty
6 feet isn't that high. I was gonna say 6 feet, but
pretty big counter movement jump just to get up there.
Yeah, it's like a 18-inch vertical to get to that bar.
Yeah.
It's like every time I go to a competition.
Yeah.
Got that one guy, his feet are on the floor, and I'm having to jump max effort to get to that pull-up bar.
Yeah, so one thing like we've been working on too is kind of strategizing for him a little bit. Since a lot of times he'll come out too hot or will burn out pretty quick. So we've been trying to build a little bit more endurance for longer Metcons, anything of like more than 5 minutes.
If it's not just send. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, you know you're a power athlete when anything over like 3 minutes is long.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the wall right here. Mm-hmm. This is a long break. We've all been there when you're staring at the barbell or something like that, and it's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think if Aldo does watch this is going to be like one of those where it's like you're watching it and you're like, why is this so painful to watch? Because like you realize how long you actually spent resting in between some of those breaks. But then it is also like, it's like the best tool as a coach because you can be like, look, you broke for 35 seconds here. If we can cut that in half and give you, an extra 10 seconds at the beginning of some of those breaks in the early part of the workout, like you're going to feel so much better when you get here and you're not just going to be like, feeling like the wheels are coming off the whole time. Because that's the worst is when you're like 6 minutes into a 12-minute workout and you're like, your lungs are on fire and you're like, how am I supposed to keep moving for the next 6 minutes? It's like, usually you don't.
That I was just about to say that you just don't. You just stare at the equipment for a while.
Yeah.
What was Day? Did he give you feedback on this workout? Like, was it like systemic fatigue where it's just like your whole body is tired, or was he like in this bar muscle upset? Was it like my grip was shot, or what was he feeling there?
Yeah, it's a mixture. One of them is when he does gymnastics, his grip usually does go out. So that is something we actually just talked about it like literally 30 minutes ago. I was on a call with him.
Nice.
So his grip fatigue is definitely something that we're trying to build on, and just overall fatigue, just getting gassed out. And so we addressed that, I want to say like a month and a half ago. So we've been doing things to kind of build on that, just because he's strong, he has good movements, his gymnastics has gotten a lot better. Now it's a matter of kind of learning to kind of breathe through the workout, control pacing, and not die out too quick. And I think this workout is great for that. Like, it's very easy to die on this workout really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's like rowing and burpees, like dying is like, you can still move when you're dying.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like, if it's a 205-pound thruster, like dying means that you just fail the bar multiple times, or you take like a minute before you do your next attempt.
And that's always super hard. Like, I don't know about you guys, but as a guy who generally is not the strongest, right? It's like to be in a workout where you're breathing really heavy because of the combo of movements, and then you have to hold your breath to brace effectively underneath a heavy barbell. It just like saps you because it's so counterintuitive to be like your body just wants to take in oxygen because you're breathing so heavy, and then you have to hold your breath to brace your core. It's like, for me personally, it's like you get lightheaded after. It's like breaks become really long at that point.
Yeah, that's 100% what this workout would be for me. Would be like,
yes,
I'm breathing really hard, and yes, my legs are tired, and like my upper body has some fatigue, but it's just like I'm just breathing hard.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say, Dave?
Like you'll see it at like local comps all the time, where like the athletes who are either newer, weaker, or whatever it is, they're having a hard time controlling their breathing, and they're doing like cleans, and they're like landing in this position, right? And the bar's just like crashing. They're like, oh God.
With the hips all the way forward.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, they're not bracing, and it's kind of scary, but it's also very hard to do under fatigue. But like Aldo could keep good positioning.
Yeah, he can kind of muscle his way through it.
Yeah. He moved that bar well after that muscle upset.
Thanks for watching today. Be sure to share this workout and take it on with some friends. If you want to learn more about how to optimize your performance for the sport of CrossFit, or if you're interested in hiring one of our coaches, head over to zorfitness.com. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe. Best of luck on the workout, and as always, stay the course.